After decades of operating a little-known aircraft as the Boeing 757, or more affectionately known as the Flying Pencil, United Airlines is finally ready to enter into a new era, which is definitely sad but exciting at the same time. United has discussed retiring the 757 now as part of plans to streamline the airline's operations and focus more on retiring aging, less fuel-efficient types. An absolutely necessary thing, but doesn't make it any easier. And ultimately, both internal and external parties knew that retiring this Flying Pencil would occur at some point in the future, but confirmation certainly does make it all that little bit more real. Adopting the next generation A321 XLR from Airbus is deemed to be pivotal for United Airlines' future fleet, and this will play an integral role in the eventual replacement of the 757. We know that United's 757 fleet, while very reliable and dearly loved, is not getting any younger and will continue to age as the years pass. If United Airlines wants to meet key emission targets, continue to be competitive, and also offer customers a fantastic experience, it believes it must begin the framework of replacement efforts. The Senior Vice President of Global Network Planning and Alliances really reaffirmed this stance when communicating with Business Insider and discussed the desire internally for the A321 XLR to take on the role of, hear me out here, all 757s essentially. The A321 XLR, thanks to its enhanced capabilities, will enable greater opportunities for United looking into the future. That's an absolute fact, with better benefits to the route network and now new markets potentially within reach. United does expect delivery of this first XLR sometime in the latter stages of 2025. Its forecast is outlining a December delivery at this point. I do say at this point because while this is the final month of next year, that is still more than a year away, and while, trust me, that's going to arrive with the click of a fingers, given the complexities on a supply chain level, it is still a lot of time and a lot could potentially go wrong between now and then. Am I being overly negative here? I don't necessarily think so. I just think it's something worth mentioning that so much can take place over a year-long period, so there would be no doubt some uncertainty on whether this will be completely accurate. You don't have to look much further than United's targets with Boeing planes as they continue to see delays on that front. Despite the concerns regarding supply chains, one major positive for this single-aisle aircraft is the recent certification that has been achieved for the variant. This a really grey cloud that was hovering over the plane that it frankly needed to get rid of to move forward, and the certification really does lift a weight off Airbus's shoulders, knowing that the plane can now be delivered and is deemed safe with the changes that they made. The deployment of the A321 XLR towards similar markets as the 757 follows the airlines continuing to find ways to best utilize its assets available. Furthermore, it also follows a belief that sending an aircraft any larger than, say, the XLR, which is part of your next-gen family of planes, wouldn't make sense. Why is that? Well, it's considering the high capacity levels that these planes would offer, and they just don't fit the intended target that the XLR and 757 fly on. These aircraft, while yes, will focus on the international network, probably emphasize more so your smaller, don't get me wrong, incredibly important, but smaller markets instead of, say, a London Heathrow. Interestingly, United's current plan to now move ahead with retirement of the 757 comes at a time in which, once again, no doubt comments will be raised about the lack of a true dedicated replacement that is available on the market. While the A321 XLR has certainly emerged as a successful plane and a leading candidate internally at Airbus, you definitely believe that some feel differently. Fellow US counterpart of Delta had long advocated for a new middle-of-the-market airliner from Boeing that would, for them, adequately replace the 757 and the 767, and remember, not be in the form of a MAX. While several companies did hold out for that new clean sheet, this would never happen, and the airlines that were holding out have now been forced to evaluate other existing options, knowing at times that a compromise must be made. As for United, well, slowly but surely we'll be saying goodbye to the Boeing 757, the iconic flying pencil. But as one door closes, another one opens, and that is in the form of the A321 XLR, which United is incredibly excited about. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks a bunch for your support here on the channel. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you next time.
And we'll fly.